Tina, it's such a joy to be here for this heart reading with you today. I'm very excited to serve you. How are you feeling on your side?
I'm feeling very excited, and thank you for doing this heart reading for me. It's very special.
You're welcome. Thank you for giving me permission to share it with my beautiful YouTube audience. I know that they're going to hear themselves. So we're going to begin clarifying your spiritual gifts and how they reveal themselves to you. This is really important because everyone is blessed with spiritual gifts, but because they're all so unique to each of us individually, we kind of can't acknowledge them or separate them because one person's intuitiveness is very different from someone else's. So my point is to really be a representation of your gifts and to showcase them to you in a way that they'll make sense and that you really register that you're receiving very precious, sacred information when it comes via these channels, sweetheart. And then we're going to be diving into your purpose, which will in part be a reflection of some of the pain from your past, but it's something that's noble and beautiful that your soul was always here to bring into the world. And then we'll finish up with just a bit of guidance, just a few points to come through to really serve and bless and support you. But any questions that surface during the time, you just speak up and we'll give that love and attention.
Sounds great, and I'm taking notes as well.
Okay, gorgeous, wonderful. So, I spoke about how, intuitive we all are, and you are highly intuitive and the type of intuitive that I would best recall as a channel. And when you're in your intuitiveness, it's almost you get outside of yourself and you feel very connected, and there's this flow. Once you start something, it kind of has a way of finishing itself almost, Tina?
Yes, that sounds true, and I almost feel like I connect to something different, like a different dimension almost.
Absolutely. And you're kind of opening up to bring something through you that is allowing you to act in a way that almost feels assisted or aided, or it's like we create a bit of a synergy with something else. And you're really good at just letting that happen. So that's really, really beautiful to observe within you. The other thing is I have never felt and sensed this gift before, so I'm going to name it Practical Genius. And everyone has different aspects or strengths, and your hands are incredibly adept at knowing what to do. Is it right that you can be given something that you haven't touched before and you don't even really know, and you'll have a way of either figuring it out or fixing it or harnessing it to utilize it? Is this right, Tina?
It's right. There's another aspect to it, I think, as well. So sometimes I feel like I need to give something to a person.
Right.
So I'd be walking in the supermarket or shops, and I'd go, I need to buy that thing. I don't know what for, but I'll get it. And then
Right.
in a couple of weeks' time, someone else would need it.
Oh, that's so beautiful. One of the beautiful things about our hands is that our hands are an emanation of our heart. So from my perspective, when I tune into this, you're also clairsentient, which means you have that knowing in your belly. But because you're an empath, you have a very strong desire to love and serve and help and heal. Does that resonate, Tina?
It does, very, very much so. And it's a little bit freaky, the whole buying thing for other people.
Yeah.
Stuff, but it also feels really good because you've got what you need to help someone.
Exactly. And one of the things that and this is, I guess, the real benefit for you, is that you can see how there's no way you would have known, right, that you needed that thing. But when that person just needs that one thing and you can just casually pass it over, it looks a bit like a magic trick, sweetie.
It does look a bit like a magic trick.
Well, I'm here.
It feels really good.
Okay, this is a really, really beautiful way, okay, that you are tuning in, that you're receiving this sacred information. I'm so proud of you for trusting it and going with it. I know that it's very logically discombobulating, and yet the joy and satisfaction, it's almost like your heart kind of glows, and there's a real joy and significance that you feel, sweetheart, when you do this.
There really is, and a bit of validation as well, so I don't feel quite so crazy when I do it.
Yes. Wonderful. That's what we want. Let's release the idea that we are crazy. Next is claircognizant, and this is really, once again, about the crown chakra and really being open to kind of divine ideas that drop in. If you find yourself facing a problem or a situation, maybe you're visioning or planning, and it's kind of like when you least expect it, an idea that is completely formed just kind of drops in. It takes you a few minutes to process and understand it, and it's just perfectly suited for the circumstance that you're in, Tina. Is this right, darling?
It is. I suppose it is. It's mostly. It's almost like asking a question. So I can't. If I can't decide on something, I would ask a question, and then I'll just wait for an answer.
Mm-hmm. I just love how it's so simple to you. It's just like, well, you just ask a question, you get an answer. But you're very, very good at receiving those answers because they're kind of concepts sometimes. Sometimes they come with a bit of imagery, sometimes a feeling, sometimes a scenario. It's quite varied. Is that right, Tina?
It is right. Sometimes it's a smell.
Yeah.
I would be sitting around and I'd smell cinnamon, or star anise was a really strange one. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love your ease. And, what I really want to do is just help you to really legitimize, okay, the sacred, attuned nature of this information that you're receiving, that you are investing so much faith to acknowledge it and act upon it, okay? So huge hands in the air, really, really, really celebrating you.
It's lovely to actually be seen and not judged.
Oh, this is one of my core missions in this life, right? Our genius has been misinterpreted as crazy and nonsensical by so many, and yet you can freely disregard that now, okay? Because I've never met you, and that's why I really want to do these gift readings, so that someone that's precious and beautiful like you, that really represents my tribe, can really legitimize these sacred parts. I want you to celebrate them and honor them too. Hugs. I'm just hugging you right now. So you are an empath, but one of the things I really want to acknowledge and witness is that sometimes it really is, there's too much heaviness within what you can perceive emotionally. And this is a time when you really would prefer to revert to your thinking-based mind, and that is a place that you can kind of consciously turn to if there are quite coarse, stagnant emotions that, are unpleasant, beautiful one. Do you find yourself doing that sometimes?
I do sometimes, and sometimes when the world gives you, very conflicting ideas as well as to
Yes.
what you feel, you turn to your rational mind because
Yes.
it feels more accepted, I guess, and you can do a cons and pros list and all of that sort of stuff.
Exactly. And I just want to say, that's absolutely fine for you, beautiful one. And, absolutely there will be a deepening, and you'll find this beautiful place within yourself to be more present to some of these feelings. But it's just, the way I think about it is Wayne Dyer often spoke about, the blossom becoming the strawberry is just a natural transition that's effortless, and it just takes the perfect amount of time, and so no efforting is required, but just acknowledging that that's productive for you to do, Tina. This is very self-supportive for you, so acknowledging you there, beauty. So let's talk a bit about your beautiful purpose, because once again, the thrill for me is being able to see the delicious assortment of sacred beings that we are, and these aspects of your purpose I haven't discerned so clearly before in anyone, so I'm very similar to a few others. But the first one was to create a firm foundation that a sense of volatility or unsureness or lack of information, lack of resources has been disabling for you in the past, beauty. So being able to establish things very honestly, very concretely, very assuredly feels like it's very important to you. Is this right?
It is right on, I suppose, on a number of levels. So childhood home wasn't very stable and we moved around a lot.
Yeah.
And I've kind of been looking forward to having my own house. And I think I'm closer to that now than I've been in the past.
It's wonderful.
Having a place to stay, but also the spiritually, I guess, uh,
Yes.
because my profession at the moment is very much not spiritually based,
Mm-hmm.
and partially because my family is not very spiritual as well. So I come from a family of engineers, and it's
Mm-hmm.
all about the concrete reality of things rather than that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So I've
Which
been
is
struggling.
valuable, right? It's valuable, and yet there's spiritual security, emotional security, right? Feeling secure and safe within our own bodies, our own minds, our own hearts, and our own soul-based being are also very significant aspects of this sense of safety and belonging. Hey, Tina.
They are, and also, well, safety in terms of being able to express oneself as well. So being free to actually be yourself.
Mm. Oh, beautiful. So I think this is lovely how you can receive the depth and the height of what it means to have this firm foundation from a family of engineers, and that I've put that you can really discern where true strength lies. So I have the sense that integrity, promise keeping, reliability is incredibly important to you, Tina.
They are. I think comes from the childhood again, just a unstable family, and so I think I'm just starting to learn that these things are important and to consciously look for them in other people as opposed to just going along with what's happening.
Well, that's right. And I think you would know that a lot of those who are close to you really see you as someone who is honest and has integrity and is genuine, right? That they value this in you. Do you get compliments like this, Tina?
Um, from my friends, I do.
Correct.
My family is a little bit trickier.
Yeah, they don't value it quite so much. There's other value preferences that they have in place of this, but particularly friends are such a great place to be able to see where our truth can be received and it can be celebrated. And, this is my backstory as well, so this is really close to my heart. And what I really want to honor in you is that it's with great struggle and great challenge that you've learned how to be constant and reliable and live with integrity when that was not so much of the example that you saw around you. I really want to honor what you've passed through and the personal discomfort you've experienced to model these aspects when, right, they weren't so readily available for you, sweetheart.
Oh, thank you.
Incredibly courageous. And I mean, this is why I love talking about our pain as our purpose, because this has made you into this incredibly, congruent woman that, right, lives by her word. And that is just such an asset for so many people. So I just want to honor you for embodying that medicine. Hugging you again. So with this also comes the ability to discern where there is weakness, where there is a lack of congruency, where there is deception, where there are false promises made, or, right, this kind of sneaking or hiding or unwilling to deliver on the promises. You can sense this in people. Hey, Tina.
Oh, yes, I genuinely can. My friends call it a bullshit meter.
Yeah, bullshit meter, you're strong. You have strong power. And, it's wonderful. This is a huge asset. And I really want to say, right, for all you've suffered, I want to honor how good you are and that you know to back this. I'm just here to strengthen that for you. Absolutely, hands down, back that knowing, even if nobody else does, sweetheart, okay?
Oh, thank you.
All right. Last aspect. So we've got creating a firm foundation, discerning where true strength lies around integrity. The third part is about creating order and flow-based systems. So you're quite interesting in that you're a very big ideas abstract thinker, but then you're really amazing with the detail and the execution. Yes?
Yeah, well, I enjoy the big idea thinking, I guess, and flow-based systems does ring a bell for me as well. Execution, I think I don't enjoy it quite as much, but then I do in the sense that you kind of have to really concentrate on something when you do that.
That's right.
So it's almost a break for you emotionally, or a break for me emotionally.
Exactly, because you're really opening up. The work is in the conceptualizing and really finding the right idea and the right application and the right context, or the right concept for the context. You do really well there, and I think it's this incredible, right, integrity that has you be willing to put the effort in to execute, right? Because they're these amazing ideas, but if you're not the one backing them, right, you don't want to trust somebody else to execute the idea, right?
No, I don't, and I think that's probably part of my shadow as well. Trust is not a big thing.
Yeah, and understandably so. So, remember that all shadow births light. So inability to trust means that you, right, execute and managerially, right, bring things into reality. So, I go, there's no downsides. It's more like the second half of our life. We just get to lean into the parts that are untapped within us so that we can be the fullest expression of ourselves, which is, I think, really where you're at a crossroads right now, sweetheart. So
It is a bit, yeah.
let's look at some of the challenges for you. I really was able to witness just this disappointment, really being let down. No stability, but life not making sense to you, precious one. There was a real time when life just didn't really make that much sense to you, and you've, just become such an incredible genius with your ability to think on a very high abstract level to find answers and solutions and just call it in. Just ask and receive, she says. I think it's wonderful for people to hear you saying it. Just here at the end, let's talk a little bit about the guidance that came through. And I was really happy to hear when you shared with me that you're really looking to have this place to stay. And one of the biggest challenges for us as empaths is that we naturally want to bless everyone else with our gifts first. And one of the things that I love encouraging empaths to do is to really invest their gifts in themselves first. So let's look at this. Create a firm foundation, right, for yourself. Physically, a beautiful home. Mentally, right, having your life in such a way that it brings you peace of mind. Emotionally, having a support network who love, adore, accept, and embrace you. And spiritually, really having that sense of freedom and safety to articulate and represent your spiritual perspective with very accepting, open-minded people. This, like, we're talking kind of heaven on earth right now, aren't we, Tina?
We are a little bit. I'm not entirely sure it's possible, but I'll keep an open mind.
Oh, it absolutely is, I can assure you. I think one of our tendencies as empaths is to place the priorities of other people's emotions before our own. And I really want to be here to remind you how incredibly precious and important you are in this world, and how worthy you are of being the recipient and the beneficiary of your gifts, your intuitive impressions, your remarkable gifts, darling.
Well, that's true enough as well, isn't it? We mostly concentrate on others. We
Definitely.
help others, take care of them, and then...
Right? We'll take care of enough of them, and then they'll turn around and take care of us.
But they don't.
It just kind of doesn't end up falling into place. And so, when you have the perfect item for somebody else, I just want to give you full permission to collect the sacred items that you need right now too, sweetie. Okay.
Well, that's a very good point.
Oh, I love feeling you receive it. So I've only got 2 points of guidance for you, and the second one is around your feminine and masculine energy. If I say that to you, more of a doing-based self or a being-based self, does that resonate when you hear me say it, sweetheart?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Sure. It's not common dialogue, so when we wake up and we get up and we start our day and we start thinking and we start doing, we're in what they call masculine-based energy. So masculine energy is all about doing, thinking, creating, speaking, solving problems. Feminine energy is its counterpart, and this is about receptivity. This is about beingness. This is about stilling the mind and stilling our sense of being so that we have a presence where we can receive, discern, intuit, contemplate, or be inspired.
That makes sense, yes.
Great. And you prefer masculine energy when you're doing things, it's productive, right, taking action is a more preferable energy for you to be in. Is this right, sweetheart?
It used to be. So I think I'm trying to rebalance somewhat at
Beautiful.
the moment. So I'm doing a lot of meditating, and I'm doing a lot of distance Reiki for people as well, which
That's the
it's
thing. You're already counterbalancing
more.
yourself. I'm so proud of you. You know, you are very, very powerful in your feminine energy. And women that I meet who are as powerful as you, and when I say powerful, you're very perceptive and capable of discerning, right? Divine impressions and receiving that sacred truth. We tend to fear it because it's not very respected or acknowledged in this world. Okay, but what it's meant to do is we're meant to be in a state of being to receive inspired ideas that we then take action upon with our masculine energy. And then it's kind of like that inner male or that inner masculine turns back to the inner female and goes, and how may I serve you next? What is your next wish? And then we tune in, right? And we feel it, and this powerful woman's like, I want this. Give me this. This is the situation that I need improved. And then the masculine goes and figures that out on her behalf, where she stays passive, she stays laying down, she doesn't need to do anything. Okay. And so I just want to hold you in a lot of love and witness that this way of mutually honoring the inner feminine and the inner masculine has not been very modeled for you, sweetheart.
No, it hasn't.
Okay. And so, yeah, you can really feel today that, you know, I'm playing a few different roles with you, and I'm almost treating you like the beloved, right? Where I'm, you know, listening to your wishes, and I'm right, honoring you and hearing what you want, and checking in to see how you feel. And can you feel how it feels slightly uncomfortable, Beauty?
It does feel a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah, and I want to acknowledge that. And my point in drawing your attention to that is that that's that receptivity, the part of you that, you know, could be honored or witnessed or served or loved. It's just not used to receiving that, which is completely understandable given your background. But if you can pay attention to that part of yourself and really show up in powerful service and witnessing, and seek to, right, honor her and love her and serve her, then it's actually going to create a transformation where other people are going to be more inclined to hear you, listen to you, support you, and love you.
That actually makes a lot of sense. I've been working on reparenting myself somewhat as well. So
Perfect.
yep.
Well, you are an absolute genius, Tina. I'm really, really filled with joy being able to do this reading for you, and just feeling you receive it and these beautiful points we've been able to focus on. Any questions surfacing for you here at the end of our time?
Well, thank you very much for that. And it's amazing to just be seen, I guess, and witnessed.
Oh, I have so much love for you. I want anyone who's listening to this to really beam Tina a lot of love. Please chime in and comment if you can feel a resonance with any of these aspects, and just send her your love. She's been very brave and courageous to do this reading for us, so I'm really honoring you and respecting you today. Have a gorgeous day, Tina.
No, thank you very much. And lots of love to you too.
Thank you.